What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're going to talk about racing games in 2017. So I made a similar video last year. I talked about racing games in 2016 and I talked about, everything that was coming out last year. Sadly, a lot of things changed last year. Obviously, Need for Speed updates got canned earlier than expected. Gran Turismo Sport was delayed. That basically left us only with Horizon 3. So I thought it'd be kind of interesting to make this video today and then comparing it in a year's time and just basically talk about my thoughts on every game which is releasing this year. Now, I'm only going to really talk about racing games which I'm personally looking forward to. I know that there's a lot of indie games which are coming out which probably you guys are looking forward to, but for me, these are my selection of AAA titles which I'm really looking forward to, mixed with a few indie games here and there. So firstly, let's go ahead and talk about sim racers. So if you are a big sim racer fan, this is going to be a good year for you because Project Cars 2 is coming out, Forza 7 is coming out, and my personally most anticipated sim racer, Gran Turismo Sport, is coming out. So let's go ahead and talk about Forza 7. Me personally, I'm not going to buy it. Didn't really like 5, didn't really like 6, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense for me to buy 7. Unless they announce something which is just truly mad, and if the demo really surprises me, then I'll give it a thought. But for now, I'm not interested. I'll definitely probably make some videos on the demo when that comes around, but in terms of like the actual game itself, I honestly can't say I'm that excited for Forza 7, but I'm glad it's still releasing. The fact that we're still getting this amount of sim races in 1 year is a good thing for the community regardless. And I think if you've got an Xbox and you haven't got a PS4 or a PC, if you only have an Xbox One, definitely get Forza 7 just because of the fact it's an exclusive. Xbox as a whole doesn't have many exclusives besides Forza and Halo for me. And honestly, with the Forza 7 coming out, it kind of just makes sense you get it because that is kind of the console exclusive and it's just another game to play. If I only had an Xbox One, I would buy it, but I'm lucky in the fact that I have a PS4 and a PC which I can play on, and I'm not just restricted to the Xbox. But that's my personal advice. In addition to that, we're also going to get Project Cars 2. Now again, I'm kind of in a similar boat with Forza with this, like Project Cars and Forza kind of go hand in hand. I'm not going to get Project Cars, well, at least on launch, unless they show something which is amazing. I don't really see the point. I didn't play enough of 1 to get Project Cars 2. But, again, if you played a lot of 1, it just makes sense for you to get 2. For me, I think Assetto Corsa and Gran Turismo Sport are going to be my sim racers for this year. And that leads me on to talk about Gran Turismo Sport. Where do I start? This game has gone through some fucking roller coaster. Like, it was supposed to release last year, early last year. We were supposed to get a beta, which never released. It looks like a prologue game, but I'm still excited. There's something for me about Gran Turismo games, which I just enjoy, and I can't tell you why. I just enjoy playing Gran Turismo games, and although it's going to be a prologue game, I don't mind. I spent so much time in Gran Turismo 5 prologue. Bit ridiculous. I probably spent more time in Gran Turismo 5 Prologue than I did in Forza 6, and I think that says a lot. So although it's going to have a hell of a lot less content, and although it does look like it's focusing mainly on modern cars, I'm still going to play Gran Turismo Sport, and I'm probably still going to enjoy it. And it also gets me into kind of the serious side of racing, the esports side of racing. Honestly, I'm a bit sick of esports. I don't give a shit. I don't play games to be competitive. But Gran Turismo is one of those games which I can kind of give a pass, purely based on the fact that, it is based on competition. But as a whole, honestly, I would like if the gaming industry just didn't really pay too much more attention to esports. I'm sick of it. I really don't give a shit. I don't look like a professional race car driver or like professional guy. I just don't give a shit. Just please focus on the fun. That's mainly how I see it. But that's another commentary for another day. Now we've got the simulation games out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about my forte, the arcade racing games. Although it's great, to play a bit of Gran Turismo and to play a bit of Forza, I've got to say for me personally, arcade games are where it's really at. So firstly, let's talk about Codemasters' new IP. So back last year, Evolution Studios, the guys who made Drive Club, they got canned by Sony, and fortunately Codemasters picked them up, and I believe they are now working on a new title. Now this could be a grid game, this could be a dirt game, this could be a completely new IP. Nothing has been announced, nothing has been confirmed. This is all speculation on my behalf. As far as I know, this may not even be coming out in 2017. This could be coming out in 2018, 2019, or maybe even further in the future. But it's exciting to know that we're going to get more information this year, and hands together, hopefully we get a reveal, because that would be really, really awesome. If it's anything like how Drive Club was, I'm looking very excited to seeing what they have up their sleeve, and let's hope, you know, what Evolution Studios had before at Sony, they can bring back under the wing of Codemasters to make a stellar racing game. And I think honestly they're going to come out with either an amazing, you know, new IP, or I reckon it could be a grid game. I've got a feeling that deep down inside it could be a grid game, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Now, one game which I am very convinced is going to come out this year is the Burnout spiritual successor. So if you don't know about this, I'll give you a quick overview. Essentially, the guys who made the old Burnout games, some of the main guys and girls, they formed their own studio called Three Fields Entertainment. They're an indie studio, and they're now working on a Burnout spiritual successor, which will release on consoles, and I believe PC too, although don't quote me on that. If you want a link to a full video I made about Three Fields, I'll link a few down in the description so you can go ahead and watch those if you want. But I'm pretty convinced we're definitely going to hear some information about this game this year. Whether that's a release date, whether that's the game itself, we're definitely going to hear something this year, and I cannot wait to get my hands on a Burnout spiritual successor. In my opinion, I believe it's going to be something which is closed track. I don't think it makes a lot of sense from an indie developer's point of view to make an open world Burnout game or Burnout type game. I think it makes a lot more sense to make something which is on track. And to be honest, I'm still looking forward to it regardless of what it was. It can be an open world racer, you know, like Paradise, or it can be, you know, like the Takedown 3 approach. I really don't mind. But regardless, I'm looking forward to this game, because personally, Burnout is one of my favourite racing game series. The amount of hours I sunk into Burnout Legends and Paradise, those were the main two I played, and Revenge as well on the PSP. Those three games, especially Paradise, I was that close to platinuming that game on PS3, like that close, and I bought like most of the DLC. I loved it. I absolutely loved Paradise. So to see what these guys are going to come out with hopefully later this year, I can't wait. Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about The Crew and Ivory Tower. Now, I actually don't know what they're doing with The Crew. It's a bit weird. Are they going to make another expansion, or are they going to make The Crew 2? Honestly, I don't really know what I want. I feel like if they do an expansion well, they can prolong the life of the game. But at the same time, they tried that last year and it didn't really work. You know, it's possible that we could see less updates from The Crew. It's possible that we could see another expansion. Really, The Crew can go any three ways. The Crew is one of those games where literally it's kind of a sandbox for Ivory Tower to do whatever they want. So it's very possible we could literally see anything with The Crew. So I'm not going to comment on that too much, purely based on the fact that I really don't know in what direction Ivory Tower are going to be going. But with that being said, you know, if we do get any information about The Crew, it's probably going to be around E3 time, and that leads me perfectly on to E3. E3's full of surprises. We don't know what we're going to get, you know. We could definitely see a surprise announcement, which could be a racing game. If that's the case, then boy. You know, E3 is one of those periods where anything can happen, so it's very possible that we could see a racing game pop up at E3 that we haven't already heard about before. So I just kind of wanted to slip that in there just in case if any game does get announced at E3. Although, to be honest, I do think it's a bit unlikely. And with that being said, that has led me on to my most anticipated game of 2017, and that is Need for Speed. The title of the game obviously hasn't been announced yet. Nothing has been announced about any of these games for the most part besides Gran Turismo. But Need for Speed's coming out this year, and oh my god, I have such high hopes about the new Need for Speed game. People obviously didn't like 2015, and that's been made clear a lot. But for me, I love that game. I can put all its faults to the side. You know, the physics were iffy at some times, you know, and the customization was lackluster for some cars. And, you know, he's got all these problems, but I just really don't care. I can still go back and play that game, and that game, for me, is still fun. And there's a lot of games I can't say that about. So with that being said, I am looking so forward to Need for Speed 2017. Just imagine if at E3, the trailer says it's in Japan. Imagine if it's in Japan. Oh! I could legit sit here for another 10 minutes and talk about why I'm excited for Need for Speed 2017 and why I have so much faith in Ghost. I think the kind of bottom line of it is they listen to us and they actually understand what we want. With Forza, and this is always going to be brought up because that's the only example anyone can think of, With Forza, they listened to trends, not really the community. They didn't really add wide bodies because you wanted it. They added it because they saw Need for Speed were adding it and they were like, oh, that's doing well, we should probably put it into our game. That's why. If it was one of those things where they were adding it because they were listening to you, surely they would have done it in Horizon 2 or even Forza 6 and Forza 5. That's just how I see it, especially with all the Veil Slide kits that were unlocked with the Fast and Furious cars. They could have easily just put that on a 350Z, but they didn't. At least that's how I see it. Need for Speed 2015 was a game that was crafted by the whole Craig It Up thing, which happened with Theo all those years ago. At least that's how I see it. It was crafted out of the fact that people were getting sick of cops and robbers in that kind of format they had with weapons and all that kind of stuff. And that's why I have such big aspirations and such big hopes for the new Need for Speed game. And I think without a doubt, honestly, it's probably going to be the game I played the most this year. And with that being said, that has been the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. If you guys have any, opinions about anything about this list, whether it's from Forza 7 or Gran Turismo, what do you think they're going to do with the crew this year? Let me know down in the comment section down below. But that's been it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did get to go, make sure you hit the like, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and peace. Move fast,